Well, just when I thought I was going to call it for the day, this showed up. I thought, what better opportunity? Let's pull this guy out, put him to use. See what we got. Thanks for White Mountain Knives. Super fast shipping on this particular one. If you're starting to get the trend here, you can probably guess it's one of a few brands. Sorry, trying to cut around the camera here, not my best skill set. Ooh, a little different than I expected on the packaging. Oh yeah, it's a Demko. And not just any Demko. If you're familiar with what you get on the typical one here, you get a cardboard box, looks like this. You open it up, it looks like that. Nice little pouch. Still great. I mean, this is great, don't get me wrong. This is awesome. I do feel like maybe I'd take the price discount over all the stuff. Andrew, if you're listening to us out there, but I'll take it. Better than the same price without all the cool stuff, right? So what do we have here? Oh, so cool. Check out that shark's foot. Well, this is neat. I've never seen this before. Let's see. Some of you are going to laugh at me because you're like, how does he not know how to open that? But I have no idea. Is there some tape on here or something? Did he put the shark lock on the box? Let's get this out of here. Come around the camera and let's see if I can get a little light on the subject and then figure this out. Sorry, it's kind of dark. Actually, much lighter on the camera than it is in the actual room, so I can't see it super well. It looks like you just pop this out somehow. Usually if it's this hard, you're doing something wrong. Okay, starting to go. Well, I don't know how to laugh at me for this one, I'm sure. Feel like I'm still doing something wrong here, but it looks like that's really interesting. Like these little dots hold it in. That's a funny sound. Excuse me. Okay. Well, didn't expect that, but so excited. Huh. That's interesting. Huh. What's that? Left-handed? Left-handed carry clip. That's what you have to do in this situation. So, just throw that over there. This here. Let's see what we got. All right, so this is the Demko AD20.5 in the smooth titanium. Came with a bit of grease there. You can see that. What a cool knife. Wow, that is freaking solid in the titanium. That feels so good in the hand. You know, I was expecting it to feel like a little too heavy compared to the regular one. It really doesn't. Actually, the weight feels almost the same. It's not the same. It does way more. if you're familiar, this weighs like a good, almost an ounce more. I think it's like half an ounce or 3/4 an ounce more. But wow. So this is 3V versus, you know, the AUS 10A that they're putting on the other ones. And, or D2 if you get the Knife Center special, but still made in Taiwan. Interesting. Okay, let's first get a little bit of this grease off here. I'll do a quick little comparison to its brother in the Grybery in black that you've seen in some of the other videos. Those are the only ones I have at my desk when I'm doing this. First time flipping. Ooh. You know, I put my hand on that shark lock sometime, and if you block that while it's opening, it'll stop it from opening. If you're not familiar with how this works, it's not just down, it's also down and kind of out. And yeah, you can actually block that and stop it from opening. So watch out for that. I just did it. Of course, you've seen now a few times, I gotta figure out a new situation here so I can open my knives better on the camera, because I'm like reaching around it and I just cannot freaking operate my knives in this position. Now I'm coming around the side here and it should be a lot easier. Okay, and let's try the Spidey flick. I've always noticed these like are a little slower when you are flipping them than some others. Like they're little like, there's like the I don't know if you know how they work, but the detent at the top and the bottom actuate. You can watch the shark lock and what it does. But there's like some activity that happens in there. Maybe I'll break it down one time. I mean, there's plenty of videos about what's happening inside of these, so that's not really the purpose of this channel. But really interesting knife there. You can see it first next to the, so we'll do it this way, mini bug out. This thing probably weighs like 3 times more than the mini bug out. We'll do some weight check and measurements on it. So let's pull out my brother here. God, I just honestly like love this color combo. I've seen very few people that have this one. Almost everyone did their reviews in like either some of those bright colors or, there you go, I blocked the shark lock again. I really have to, you know, be intentional when I'm doing this on video. But man, this black on black, and I don't normally like black blades anymore. Now that I use the knives more, I'll get that for a collector, but not for like my daily driver. This black one's more of a, you know, have it here, compare it to other things, more so than something I'm gonna keep in my pocket. But man, this would be just a dope EDC. Like, love the functionality, love the functionality of the sheep's foot, shark's foot, whatever you want to call it. And man, it just feels like this thing could take a beating. Like you could just have this knife be your knife for the rest of your life. Hard to imagine much going wrong with it. Maybe you replace the spring a few times or something like that. But you can see, I mean, right out of the package, it's not quite as, you gotta really like manipulate it. It's not quite as light, and this is just exactly the same how this one was when I first got it. It took a little minute to break in, but once you did, it's just snappy. It's such a cool design. And you can just do whatever you want with it. You know, if you're not familiar, you can basically treat it more or less like a switchblade or like a gravity knife. I don't know what, it's just such a cool design. It's so different than the other ones out there. But this will get broken in a little bit as it goes. As it goes with knives like this. Wow, one of the things I just love about these Demkos is just the thickness of the blade, you know, by comparison here with like a mini bug out. Really no comparison. Now, disadvantages, we won't get into all of that today. This is just a, you know, an unboxing, but some disadvantages of not having it be as slicey if you have that thickness. But wow, that thing, are you ever going to, I mean, you could freaking pry bar with that thing if you had to. That is a beast. Wow. This is actually kind of a cool comparison here. Take this out. Just the overall dimensions, like if you just kind of, one of the places, I don't see many people do this, but I love the idea of going at the end where the blade comes out and matching from there and kind of comparing. So right, how much, this has a lot more at the end. One of the things I don't like about the Demkos are these clips. They are, you know, this should definitely go to the end here and be deep pocket, but anyways, interesting, right? You only are like just a tiny bit longer. Pull out the measuring tape here. I mean, you're talking like, it's not even on my measuring tape, you're talking like a 1/4 inch or maybe less, 1/5 of an inch. And then down here, you're talking about 3/4 of an inch difference. Weight difference is probably like 3x. Let's pull out the scale. I don't know what it is about me. I was a weight nerd when it came to bike parts, firearms. I've just always been a weight nerd about stuff. It's because I was a wrestler. I was very weight conscious because of that. 1.5 ounces, 1.51, somewhere in there. Beast. 4.32 on that. 4.32. So pretty big difference versus 3.56. Like I said, almost an ounce. Talking like 3/4 of an ounce. 3.56 to 4.32. It's a pretty big difference, right? 0.8 almost, 0.75, 3/4. I mean, but the interesting thing is you don't feel it that much in the hand. Let's see how the balance is on both of these. Right about there. This feels very good, but a little blade heavy. And this one, wow. A little further back because the handle is so substantial. So right about there, maybe even a little further forward. No, yeah, right about there. It's a freaking cool feeling knife in the hand. Just the jimping goes way up there as far as you can want. God, that thing just feels so solid. What a dope knife. That is a freaking cool knife. I'll be doing some reviews and comparisons with the ones with the diamond grip also that I have. I haven't opened, obviously, as you can see, since I didn't even know how to open that. I got to get those out too, but finish on this is just freaking beautiful too. Just beautiful, just so rugged looking, but refined. That is just beautiful. And I had read some reviews and people really complained about it for EDC, the diamond finish titanium being like a bit rough. Like I guess on the 8020S or the 8020s, they were like pretty smooth, but on the 8020.5, people are saying it's kind of like not sandpaper. I'm trying to remember what people describe it as, but like grabbing a file. So I thought this would be such a cool EDC knife in a titanium with the, I keep wanting to say shark's foot, sheep's foot, but I didn't like the idea of it going in and out of the pocket, and I already knew they had the pocket clip kind of had some issues. I'll probably replace this with an aftermarket one that goes deep carry here, and has a little bit more beak on it there. I cannot stand when I can't one-handed slide it into my pocket. That is a big no-no for me. So I think this is a pocket clip away from being like the most robust and substantial. Like the first time I'd be willing to take a really heavy knife for part of my EDC use. But this is just, I feel like you could just use this for the rest of your life. And a lot of people are going, The 3V is like a little concerning to me being in Bellingham, Washington. I'm not 100% sure if that's the right blade steel for me on a few levels. But I've never had one before, so we'll see how 3V performs. Pretty big fan of like an S45VN or a Magna cut around here. S30V even, S35VN, an LMAX, something like that, are all great options. I see a lot of reviewers that live in states where they don't have to worry so much about being coastal, but we do. Made in Demko knives. And then Wampum, Pennsylvania, made in Taiwan. Kind of funny. I really, like others that have reviewed these, wish they hadn't put the Taiwan on there. Just don't think it's necessary for any reason. It's fine. Like, I mean, they make great things out there. I ride mountain bikes, like I mentioned. A lot of those bikes are made in Taiwan, and they do a phenomenal job. Quality is not synonymous with country of origin. Quality is synonymous with quality. But, you know, for a brand like this and for a price like this, you just having it say made in Taiwan or say Taiwan on there just doesn't feel quite right. But I could care less. I'm sure I'll forget about that right away. Doesn't feel like it. It feels like just like an American hunk of metal here for, you know, whatever nationalism I have, which is not a lot, honestly. Some, but not a lot. I'm much more of a internationalist, I guess, versus a nationalist. I don't know what the term is. But wow, cool knife. Really cool add to the collection. I'll do some more review of this over time. Hope the lighting was okay. And interesting packaging. No paperwork on that one. I don't know if I ended up with if that's standard or whatever, but no paperwork. Unlike its less expensive brother here. I guess it didn't come with paperwork per se. No, wait, it did. Where is it? Is it in here? Oh, that's funny. I hadn't even found this from the other one, the left-handed. So I guess maybe this one doesn't come with paperwork. For some reason I felt like it came with like a Demko rag or something like that, but I'm not seeing it here. Maybe I misplaced it, but I thought it did. Anyways, a very different experience from the same knife maker, which is cool. It kind of gives it an extra little, makes it a little extra special for a buyer and owner, and you know, the experience of opening it and owning it. Just a little more special because it's like very minimalist, which I love. I love minimalism like that. But beautiful knife. Yeah, I'll start to put it to use maybe and then do some reviews on it. But wow, just one of those cool ones. You just, if you collect knives, this is just so representative. And now actually, sorry, one more thing. So representative of what I love in a knife. You know, whether or not this will actually like get a lot of pocket time versus my bug out, to be determined. But you know, I love this one for a reason. My cheapo, my phase 2 cheapo. Just a great knife. There's something about an all metal knife. The size is actually very similar, which is kind of funny. You know, I tend to find I don't vary too much. My opinions do change, but like generally I don't vary too much. A little bit. Like this phase around, I'm not as into like a black on black. Like this is very unique for what I've been buying lately. This is not a common one in my collection. It's just, I just freaking think it's so awesome. And if you see it in person, I don't know how much it looks kind of tactical on video, but in person, it's just beautiful. It's a little piece of artwork, I feel like. Some people criticize the grivery on here, but it actually feels good to me in the hand. You know, unlike like a Hogue Deca or even this bug out. Bug out doesn't actually bother me that much. It's definitely not great. The Hogue Deca one really does bother me. It feels very hollow to me. So I'll probably be upgrading the scales on my Deca. But this does not bother me much at all, honestly. I'll have to do a review on this one and the whole group. I have a whole bunch of them that I haven't even unboxed yet, so we'll get the whole bunch out, do a deeper review. I'll probably start, you know, the whole purpose of getting this one was to EDC the diamond. Gosh, I wish I had done the research before the video, but the, you know, diamond texture one is more of my, it's supposed to be my safe queen. And I'm going to admit something, like I have the shark's foot and the drop point in the diamond texture. So I have two of those. Those are going to be more, and this is going to be more of my EDC. Those are going to be more of the safe queens. Yeah, that is sweet. They don't make them like overly sharp from the factory, I noticed, versus some other brands that come like crazy sharp. I'd have to actually like put it to use and see what it's like. I could be wrong. It might just be how it feels to me right now, but yeah, I've seen some like knives just come so sharp. Like my, like this feels just, I don't know if it's just because there's a little burr on it or something, but it feels way sharper. And the tactile turn, Rockwell thumb stud. Oh my god, that thing I mentioned in one of my other videos. I just closed it very lightly on my finger and just cut a nice deep cut into my pinky here the other day. There's just some knives that just come so sharp from the factory. These don't feel like quite as sharp from the factory, which I actually don't mind that much, honestly. Like, go sharpen it. All right, that's a fun one. I hope you enjoyed the video. This one just got a little bit of an emotional reaction from me, honestly. This one is just a really cool knife. I could just handle this for hours. I'd stay up late and be very tired at work tomorrow because of this one. Beautiful knife. Well done, Andrew Demko, and everyone else that was involved. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video today. Take care.